Ivy Valentine subscribes to Mark Yoon, so should you. Enjoy your treat!
There was a lot going on recently, especially with character reveals in games such as Tekken, who have revealed Raven, among other characters, as being part of their lineup for their launch. We also have characters that are being revealed for MK1, such as Reptile and Havoc, and all this is like very exciting, but I wanted to like take a second to talk about something else, because I was going to make a reveal video on these, but they've been done to death by this point. But I really want to talk about the situation with Street Fighter 6 and how I believe it sets like kind of a bad precedent without even being innovative. So Street Fighter 6 took a lot of great steps forward when it came to single-player content, particularly in the World Tour mode, in which you can create an avatar and roam the world in this interesting story, I guess you would say, by meeting a bunch of masters and learning their moves, and then by the end of it, hopefully you have a good character that's viable in Battle Hub. It takes a while to get there, but at the end of the day, all being said, it does give you a little bit of freedom to be able to make your character yours and unique, as we have seen. Now, that's not where the contention that I have comes from. The contention that I have with Soul Calibur 6, it's kind of turned me off to the game a little bit, has been the Battle Pass situation. So, though I support Battle Passes where I believe they're necessary with free-to-play games, because the development team needs to make revenue off of something like how Fortnite has their Battle Passes every season, which is like every 3 months pretty much, you have to pay $7.99, in which it gives you back the money for the next month of Battle Pass, which I think is a pretty good way of doing it. That's a free-to-play game, so if you're spending money on that, it's going to be on anything extra like skins and whatnot. Now, the reason I prefer DLC to paid games over Battle Passes is just because of the fact that it's always there. With Battle Passes, there tends to be this kind of time restraint where when something comes out for a Battle Pass, to give it that exclusive feeling that you need the Battle Pass in order to have it, they often don't return, and if they do, it's like very, very late. So the only option that people actually have to play is to earn these rewards through purchasing the Battle Passes. Now, Battle Passes in and of themselves, like I said, aren't bad. It's just the fact that usually they're in games where you're going to be spending a lot of time. So in games like Street Fighter 6, where like you may pop on to play with friends on the weekend, or maybe you're doing trials or whatever, but you're playing other games, a Battle Pass is really ineffectual at best. And now I guess the argument could be, well, you're just getting like useless things like emotes and stuff for your avatar anyway, such as like costume pieces and whatnot, in which to you I would agree. But when it comes to somebody creating a character and using the avatar, there's a lot that goes into that, and I believe that people want the most choice for their options. And no, we can't make multiple avatars in this game. It's even more so to the point. So, for example, when it comes to a game like, let's say, Diablo 4 that had a Battle Pass, I'm not paying $80 for a game and then paying for a Battle Pass on top of that, where I gotta constantly grind. Because if you don't know about Battle Passes, it's not like DLC where you just pay the money and then you unlock everything. Fortnite does this where you pay for the Battle Pass, and even if you don't pay at the end of the season, like it gives you everything. It's just like unlocking it as it goes. So that I can kind of understand. But when it comes to these other Battle Passes, it's like you're purchasing the right to earn this content. And there are free things that are in there that you can earn without having the Battle Pass, but it's usually negligible things, such as like a title or something like that. Whereas all the costumes and character pieces and emotes and stuff are usually tied behind the paid paywall. So what you need to do is you need to complete in-game things or earn a certain amount of points or something akin to that, and then you unlock that thing within the Battle Pass, and then at which you have it. Now, like I said, some Battle Passes allow you to actually unlock everything automatically at the end of the season, but this doesn't seem to be the case for games like Street Fighter that I've seen so far. So why am I talking about this? Well, at EVO we had a trailer, which I will show while we're talking about it, of Ninja Turtles crossover with Street Fighter 6. And though this could be exciting out of the gate, like it's everything that's pretty much tied into this is around your avatar and the Battle Hub. So the Battle Hub goes through some changes. There's new titles, there's new stickers. You're going to have the different individual Ninja Turtles that you can actually wear as an outfit for your character. And you can also equip them with special turtle emotes and things like that. But we're not still sure on how we're going to be able to get this. There is a new area in the Battle Hub, so they may be purchasable with like the drive tickets and all that stuff, which then would be kind of considered DLC-ish. But if they tie this into the Battle Pass for unlocking, then like the chances are that like once these characters go, they go. Because as it with anything with licensing deals, DLC, they usually have like, while the game's being support it or something, you can still purchase that content. Now, when it comes to later, they may actually revoke those licenses if they're not renewed, which means that you no longer have access. This is the kind of situation that we see with like games like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, where for a while they didn't have the licenses and the DLC characters were actually removed from the stores. Same as it goes with Soul Calibur 4, where if you purchased the Xbox version, you came with Darth Vader, and if you purchased Yoda, and if you purchased the PS3 version, it came with Darth Vader, but later on you were able to actually purchase the opposite character from the version that you didn't have to have a complete game. Now, if you waited to purchase it until after the license expired, then you have no way of ever having that character unless you mod it on like PC or something like that. But licensing is not actually the issue right here. The biggest problem that people have, let's say with Fortnite, which is again a free-to-play game, is that when they have tie-in characters or crossover characters, like let's say Superman, in their actual battle pass, once that 3 months is over, they never return to the game again. So you may encounter people that have Superman and you'll never have a chance to ever be able to purchase that character, not even separately. This is how it's been for battle passes, and this was like the evolution of like DLC, I guess, but like I don't really like it. And though while I say that like there is utility in it when it comes to free-to-play games and experiences, when I'm paying $60 for Street Fighter, I don't want to have to like pay an additional like $10 just for a couple months to be able to unlock like bikinis for my avatar or something like that. And I really hope that this Ninja Turtle situation doesn't go that way, but it kind of sets a bad precedent. We've already seen stuff like this with other games trying to do this recently, but when it comes to fighting games, that's a little bit of a different story, because fighting games aren't necessarily games that you're only playing that one game and putting a bunch of time into it. Like, chances are, if you play one fighting game, you probably play a bunch of other fighting games, or even other experiences as well. Like, we got Spider-Man 2 coming out pretty soon. And we have, like, besides Mortal Kombat, we're still looking forward to Soul Calibur 7, there's still, like, Naruto Storm Connections, there's, like, Budokai Tenkaichi 4, there's just, like, so much stuff coming out that, like, anyone that's purchased these battle passes is going to be sitting here grinding these modes, and sometimes that includes online, to be able to unlock this experience to have these characters. Now, the one argument that I would say is like, well, if you're paying extra money, you're getting exclusivity. You're not actually paying for the costume itself, you're paying for the exclusive rights to the costume. Which means that if somebody else says your character and is like, wow, that's a really unique character, how can I unlock that? And you say, well, you pretty much can't. Now, this is like where your, I guess, clout comes from, because like you have that and somebody else can't ever have it again. So I can kind of understand it from that point, but like when it comes to like a fighting game, you should be able to have everything off the jump via DLC or whatever. So like in Tekken, for example, if you have character customization pieces for your actual character, and they release them through DLC, at least you have them, right? You always have the option of later down the line purchasing that content and being able to have a complete game at any point in time. But with battle passes, you never truly have a complete game. Because at some point, you're either going to stop purchasing the battle pass, and then when you go back to play the game later, you're not going to have half the stuff that was released, or if you can't really afford it at that time, or if you're trying to play something else, and you're not really grinding it out, and you're not getting those rewards, you may have wasted your money. Like, there's a lot of stuff that goes into this that I think about when it comes to the kind of consumer friendliness when it comes to actual battle passes within paid games in and of itself. And I think that Street Fighter really needs to take the time to step back and reevaluate their current business model in this mode. I'm not even sure that like this adds anything to the World Tour mode besides like letting your avatar use these options on themselves. And I've already seen people complaining, saying that they would rather have the turtles as playable characters as DLC as opposed to being costumes that you wear, because it just kind of seems cheapened and you're still paying for it, so why not actually have the real utilized thing, especially if the license is clearly there and been purchasable for use. So I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts on this. I'm not really too keen on this, and I kind of, to be honest, haven't really played Street Fighter that much since like Final Fantasy 16 came out. And it's not the fact that I don't like the game. I love the combat in the game. I love the way the game is playing. It's just once you beat World Tour, there's like not much to do outside of just like fighting your friends or fighting online and ranked. So going to the Battle Hub and doing all this stuff is great, and these events are great, but like the way they're being monetized and the way they're like taking advantage of the licenses and the people that may not necessarily make this their primary game is where I have the problem. So I want to know, like, your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'm going to drop the question to you and tell me what you think about these battle passes and paid for games, and particularly when it comes to Street Fighter 6, because that's what we're talking about today. And your thoughts are always welcome. But I do want to talk about the poll that we had on the last video, and in that poll I actually asked, if a perfect Soul Calibur game were to exist, which would you want to see more? 53% of the people said Chronicles of the Sword, 11% of the people said Tower Mode, 13% said RPG mechanics, and 23% said open world areas. And this is out of 271 votes. That's the poll, and you can see some of the comments that we're talking about right now. Personally, I would like a Chronicles of the Sword type mode, and I did talk about my perfect Soul Calibur game. So if you click at the end in the end screen, you can see like what I would actually talk about and maybe join that conversation as well. And that's going to be the video for today, guys. Thank you for watching, and please join the Discord if you would like to come over and chat with a bunch of other like-minded people. There's a link to that in the description box down below. And as I always say, guys, I love it, thank you,
and thank you.